All right, welcome back to the channel, Between the Rocks. Gage, what are we working on today?
GMC 2024.
2024 GMC. It's fancy. It's real fancy. So apparently we went ahead and started this project before we started videoing, and then I'm like, oh gosh, let's get a video going on this. So this one already has a 3-inch lift from the factory with these fancy shocks. All those fancy stuff. Oh yeah. But Tyler here, he wanted it to be a little taller. Well, he didn't really want it to be taller, but he was running some 37s and he put these flares on it, and now it's rubbing really hard. So we're putting a BDS kit on it. We're putting a 6.5 Fox shocks, and so it's a 6.5 in the front and a 5 in the back. And yeah, so we haven't done one of these newer rigs like this yet. As far as a 24, it's looking pretty much same as all the other ones, but if we come into anything, we'll definitely shout it out, what we found, what we're doing, why we're doing it. But we printed out the directions, and we're just gonna go step by step. We kind of know exactly what we need to do, and pretty much some of the first steps is to get rid of the torsion bar load. So you need a special tool for that, and you want to mark the torsion bars in side to side and front to rear, so you don't want to mix them all up. And then next, basically blowing this thing apart. So we're going to, he's already taken the calipers off, so calipers are hanging. We'll get the ABS lines off, and then we'll take the knuckles off. Tie rods are already off. We'll get all this stuff, pretty much get it all dismantled, and start putting some bracketry on. So there's some things you got to cut. Don't believe we don't have to weld anything, so that's kind of nice on this. But definitely stuff you have to cut and stuff you have to measure. So it can be a DIY kit. You can do it in your driveway, jack stands, but we have a lift, so we're using it. So stay tuned. We'll keep you posted. We'll keep some video going, and hopefully show you, I don't know, ins and outs of it. All right. What thing? What thing?
The box thing. It only dropped like that far when we tried to pick it up.
I don't know, dude. All I know is when we hooked it back up, it didn't work, right?
Yep.
All right, so still working on the Chev. Colin's working on a 450. He's putting a clutch, or not a clutch, but well, kind of. It's a starter clutch. Doing that. I was doing some exhaust, but as you can see, lights are out. So still working on the Chev. We just dropped the front end. Got the front end out of it. Got all the lower control arms out of it. The torsion arms, torsion bars. And so we're gonna continue to work on this thing. We have hand tools, we have electric ratchets. That's one thing that I guess is really good about electric stuff, that or battery stuff that still works when you don't have power. So we'll try to see what we're doing and keep on going. So we got the power back on. We're continuing on this GMC. We've already got the front diff out, and we actually started going back together with it. So we've got the rear cross member in here. We've got the diff back into place. We've got some bracketry. This is that drop down bracketry. And then right now we're getting ready to hook up the drive line and get these bolts tight. And then our next step is to do the front cross member. Then after that, we get to start putting the A-arms and stuff back on this thing. So it's good stuff. Luckily on this one, we didn't have to grind any of the ribs on the differential. So lucky for us.
Okay guys, so we got the lower control arm back in the truck along with the new torsion bar bracket right here. We have the torsion bars up in the truck, but they're not in the key itself. I have the new Fox shocks in as well. Now we're going to be working on, we're going to get the steering knuckles on, the axles back in, brakes, you know. So we're going back together, and then we'll be jumping on the back of the truck here soon. Alright guys, so the front is all back together. As you can see here, it's all looking good. All we have left to do is just when we get the rear done, that's what we're going to be jumping on this morning, is to get the wheels and tires on. We also have to bleed the brakes since we put new brake lines on that they supplied. But all we have to do is wheels and tires, torque the wheels, and also tighten down our lower control arm bolts, as well as make sure that the truck's sitting level. So we might have to adjust the torsion bars as well. But the rear shouldn't take too long. It's just blocks. We also have airbags to deal with, so let's get going on it. Alright, so we got the rear done. Got the blocks in the back, got the shocks on. Got the relocation brackets for all your brake lines and ABS stuff on. Right now, what's next for this particular truck is we're putting airbags in. It came with the one side done already, but we have to do this other side. We also have to mount the air compressor, and it's also getting some getting the Banks system in it, as well as the Banks Ram air charger. So here we go.
All right, everybody. So we got the lift on that 2024 AT4X installed. And if you don't know what the X is, basically it is a lift kit that comes from the factory. It's like an 1.5 inch lift. And what we found out the hard way is that the lower control arms are different on these things. And what's different about them is where the shock location is. So the bracketry that gets mounted for your torsion bars will sit on top of the control arm. I can go grab one actually. This one's sitting out. Oh, they're around the shop. Anyways, if you want more details, we can show you. But basically, get in here, this bracket right there, which is sitting on top of your lower control arm, it gets mounted to the factory location right here. So this is the factory location on the lower control arm, and this bracket utilizes that bolt. And then you have a bolt up here for your shock. So what we found out is that this hole is in a different location on the X versus the regular HD. So what we did was we went ahead and got the factory standard HD truck lower control arms from the factory, waited a week getting those things, so it sat on the lift, and it bolted up. So we got it all aligned, everything mounted up. It's good to go. So if you have an AT4X and you're wanting a lift kit, there's some other things you're going to have to buy that nobody else is supplying yet. So just keep that in mind. But here's the truck. Stand next to that thing, Gage. She's big. She's a big truck. So, and that's the 6.5, and with 37s. So, thanks for watching. It's been an adventure. Hopefully the next one's a lot easier.